Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawud from GMS Tampa Bay '07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, I'm going to jump into this quick little lesson dealing with the downfall of America. All right. It says gross misuse of the dollar by U.S. will lead to weakness and switch to national currency. I believe it's Sergei Lavrov. Says Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that the role of the U.S. dollar as a global reserve currency, or the petrodollar, may be diminished as more countries switch to a national currency and trade. Gross abuse of the role of the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency will cause its role to be weakened, Lavrov said, speaking at a press conference in Ankara with Turkish Foreign Minister Medvedev. I cannot pronounce this guy's name, but nevertheless, continuing on, it says, basically going into like saying, look, bro, all right, so put it to you this way. Here's the analogy. Your gross misspending on your credit card and not paying your damn bills off, you know what I'm saying? You going out with the credit card, maxing all your shit out, late on your payments, not making payments, bro. All you doing is fucking up your credit. So whenever you need a new loan, they gonna be like, nah, nigga, we can't give you no loan. When you go to try to get you a spot to stay, an apartment or something, nah, bro, we can't get you no spot. Try to go get a car, nah, bro, we can't get you no car, your credit fucked up. You go get a job, nah, bro, we can't get you no job, your credit fucked up. All right? So that's basically what Russia them is saying right now. Like, yo, the way you acting, man, is making your dollar, people don't want to deal with your dollar no more. We about to get up off your currency, stop dealing with you, cutting you off, blackballing your ass. Says Lavrov noted that the U.S. sanctions, including those against Turkey, undermine all principal global trade. They put sanctions on their own self, getting into the whore hating or the beast hating the whore. I've already said that it is about sanctions. They're illegal. They undermine all principle of global trade and principles approved by the UN decision under which unilateral measures of economic duress are unlawful, said foreign ministers. So basically, and really, this is set up by the Edomites, but they don't even adhere to their own law, statutes, and commandments that they set up, But really, truthfully so, man, you can't stop a country from eating, man. That's just wicked. It says by imposing sanctions, the U.S. is also punishing its allies, his own allies, getting into the whore hating the beast hating the whore. According to Lavrov, this policy cannot be the basis for normal dialogue. Like, bro, this can't be the norm. If you fucking over your own squad and everybody else, you just shitting on everybody and expect you not to catch no backlash from this, bro. It says the policy cannot be the basis for normal dialogue. It seems to me that it cannot continue for a long time, says the Russian diplomat. Turkish foreign minister warned that U.S. sanctions could be imposed against any country at any time. They got this death hold over all the other nations, Says today's sanctions are imposed on Turkey, and tomorrow it could be used against any other European state. All right. That's, again, getting into the whore hating the beast. All right. If the United States wants to mainstream respect in the international arena, then it's necessary for it to be respectful in the interests of other countries, he said. Yeah, and stop trying to overthrow these countries' governments and stuff like that and put sanctions on them and tell them what they can and can't do, man. America just think that they can just roll on all these other countries. Everybody got to bow down to America, and they don't have no say-so on their own stuff, But all they ways and they wars and trade wars and these sanctions is just the way they being, They about to really cut themselves off, They it's like the analogy I gave with the credit card. You ran up your credit so bad, now you can't get shit. You know what I'm saying? Your credit is so destroyed, you can't even get a metro phone cut on in your name, You like in this society, you fuck up your credit that bad, you really can't even move in America. All right. We'll grab some scriptures real fast. Oh shit. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, starting at the top. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So basically, like the other scripture, come out of her, my people, speaking on the Israelites, because the Edomites and the wicked, they're going to just die in their wickedness anyway. You know what I'm saying? But talking about the Israelites, come up out of her, my people, remember the Most High now, while you have a chance, while you have a time, before all these dark times come, before like this economy collapse and things get real hard on your ass. You out here living it up with these Edomites, man. Hey, man, come back to the law, statutes, commandments now. Come up out of her, my people. It says, for when the sun or the light while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened or the clouds return after the rain, and the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, okay, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened. Yeah, when America, Babylon start being brought down low, and these businesses start being shut down. Why? Because economic trade. You didn't cut off yourself from all these other people, man. Things gonna start slowing down here economically because of why? Because of you being brought down. And your pride is bringing you down. All this bullshit you got is turning all these other nations against you. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Talking about these businesses and companies shutting down because of the economic collapse or slowdown. He shall raise up the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right. And that's talking about just the countenance of this whole place. Verse 5, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man go to his long home, and the mourners go into the streets. Basically the countenance of these damn Edomites is coming down, man. Everybody, Jake is coming up and they coming down, man. This is just the end of their shit. They all in a depressed state. It says, or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken, or the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Talking about basically everything, the infrastructure and all this stuff coming to naught here. Then shall the dust return into the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. Talking about basically life after death. But that's the cycle of all these things. You start off kind of in position, but now everything is starting to come to a grinding halt, a grinding cease. Everything is slowing down, and that's the decline of this Babylon the Great. You seen the decline and the downfall of this damn kingdom right before your eyes. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 4. It says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how has the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased? Saying that in a state of astonishment, like, damn, bruh, how did you slow down? Like, I thought you was gonna go forever, But now, how did the glory of the kingdom start to cease? How's everything here starting to fall down? You dominated all these other nations, became super rich and mighty military. How now are you becoming isolated and brought down low? It says, Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. All right, taking that power up out of their hand. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Yet these other nations is cutting off America and vice versa. America cutting off his own allies, but don't nobody really give a fuck. They banding together with one another with one accord, basically to burn her with fire, like the scripture says. It says the whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. Basically, when Esau is taken out of power. All right. Let me jump down. It says, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as us? Art thou become like unto us? That's these other nations, they like Russia saying, like, look, bro, you keep moving the way you move, your global currency gonna be threatened. It's gonna become weaker. People gonna start looking towards each other else. Now they gonna be like, oh, we don't actually need you no more to survive above you. We straight now. Now you on the same level as us, or if not beneath us. We don't really need you now. It says, verse 10, and all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So basically, you starting to decay and rot and mold, bro. You. Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? Bro, you the one that putting all this hell on everybody else. How you the one catching hell? You see what I'm saying? You the one that was dominating everybody else, but now you the one slowly catching all the same hell you've been pumping out. All right. It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Talking about here in America, over top of the Israelites. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right, these Edomites is coming down, and like you see, all these other nations calling them out and cutting ties with their asses as you see the decline and the fall of America. All right. It says, all they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and shall consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened up the house of that open not the house of the prisoners. Yeah, so they're gonna be like looking at you and like, yo, man, is this that nigga that did all this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Now we on this new trade deal or this new agreement, military agreement. We don't even need them, but is this the nigga that was fucking us up? Let's go pay him back now. All right. It says, verse 18, and all the kings of the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like the abominable branch, as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword that go down to the stones of the pits, as a carcass trodden underfoot. Basically, you're gonna be. Let me read the next verse. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed the land and slain thy people. The seed of the evildoer shall not be renowned. So basically, you're gonna get cut off for all the bullshit and the wickedness that you had going on. You know, you about to. Let me read verse 21. Verse 21 and 2, we can close out with that. You know, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon and the remnant son and nephew, saith Yahweh. So he's gonna cut off that whole line of these damn Edomites. You know, he's about to prepare slaughter for them for all the different things they did. As you has done, it's gonna be rewarded upon your own head. You know. All these things finna come down upon you for all the different things that you did to the children of Israel and all these other nations. Let me see real quickly. Let me just read this. This is Revelation 18, starting at the top. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried with a mighty strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So that's talking about the Babylon. These Edomites are starting to fall. You know, everybody's starting to fall down now. You know, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So they was all in their trade deals and using that global currency, but now it's becoming weaker. You know. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my peoples, that you be not partakers of her sin, that you receive not of her plagues. Talking about the Israelites, come up out of that Babylonian way. All right, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. The cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double. So all the things she did, she got to be paid back for. Talking about America. Verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrows. All right, talking about I'm going to stay on top forever. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. All right, and you can read that in the chapter before. I'll get that too. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornications and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, let me just grab this real quick. This is Revelation 17 and 10. It says, 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom of yet, but shall receive king. Hold on. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's the beast that the whore is sitting on. All right. So going back over, I think I was what was I at? Verse 9. Yeah, that's talking about the kings of the earth right there. All right. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is her judgment come. The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Talking about that trade, you know, that merchandise. All right. And the merchants of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner of vessel of ivory, and manner of vessel of precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon, odors and ornaments, and frankincense, wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, and beasts, sheep, horse, and chariots, slaves, and souls of men. All these things can be found here in Babylon, all right? And that's what they trade out throughout the rest of the world, all right? And the fruits of the soul, of that soul lusted after, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all the things which were dainty and goodly departed from thee, and thou shalt find it no more at all. So all the things you live deliciously out off of is going to be cut off from you, and that's what you're starting to see happen, all right? And the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of the torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all company of ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. And she cried and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Talking about America. And they cast dust upon their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of the costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. So again, talking about this trade and economic movement. All right, these nations, once they cut America off, that's gonna be it. They're gonna be like, damn, we ain't gonna be able to make money no more because America is the #1 consumer of our products. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon shall be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of the harps and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the craftsman and of whatsoever craft he be shall be no more found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and all of the bride shall be heard no more in thee. For all the merchants were great men of the earth, for by sorceries were all nations deceived. So yeah, you deceived all these other nations with your witchcraft and your bullshit, you know. It says, and in her were found the blood of the prophets and the saints and all of them that were slain upon the earth, talking about the Israelites. All right. So, you know, this is the time. Let me read one more real quick one. Deuteronomy 30:7. All right. This is the times that we living in. All right. It says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them which hate thee and persecute thee. So you see all these plagues and pestilence and judgments and curses coming down on Esau right now. All right. Because this is the judgment of the Most High, and these Edomites are recompensing them back for all the things they did to the children of Israel. All right. So we living in glorious times. Not only are these Edomites individually catching it, but their whole nation is coming down. All these other nations coming up against Babylon the Great, also known as America. You know, we at the downfall and the end of the end all be all of Edom, Esau, Edom's rule, and also Babylon the Great. You know, so Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in this truth, sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.